He said, that's right. I said, let me ask you a question. When do you do what you should do? He said, what? I said, when do you do what you should do? And I just backed off. And I went to the rest of the people in the circle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's examine this. A program is set up to save these boys. They get out of prison. They're turned loose to somebody. They got to go someplace. There's an apartment, a house, something. Okay, maybe the kid was horrible and he burned all the bridges and nobody wants him. But he had to go someplace at age 15. And somebody who took him in knew that he had to be at this place for a program that's going to save his life. Am I making sense? This is a black boy. He's lower economic. He is disadvantaged, born, at risk, born, all of these things. And whoever he came back to, these black people are letting this boy stay up. And I know what all you women are thinking, well, what about the girl? I'll get back to her. But he's up to 4 o'clock in the morning and got to go to a place that's going to save him from going back into prison. Meanwhile, he's screwing some 13-year-old girl without a rubber. She wants to have something so she can have something that loves her. And she's 13 or 14. She's not about thinking, and I want to save this child and send it for. She's up here making love to some boy who just got out of jail. Now, half of the women that I dated, first of all, you had to have a resume. And whether you had a great one, you still were not going to get any. This was just so you could take her to the movie. And what are you doing and what are your plans? These people, you come out of prison and there's a girl waiting for you. And when you listen to some of these stories, these are the failures. There's a young girl, 14 years old, pregnant, going to have the baby. Who's the father? He's doing time for murder. And so we've got to get inside that house. See, in my time, I'm 70, in my time it was always a voice from somewhere saying, Lord, there's a stranger in the house. But everybody's a stranger in these houses. People don't know how to parent, and they don't care. And they don't care. And they don't know. When you go around, if you think I'm lying, ask some of these social workers and school teachers, what are some of the curfews you've heard about? 13, 14-year-old people, you better be in this house by 2 a.m. And you hear people talk about, well, there's no black leaders. That's because there's no followers. See, if you got a leader, the leader says, all right, here we go. And the person says, well, go ahead. I hear more people say, oh, Lord, when Jesse is speaking. No, they say, oh, Lord, when Jesse said, we need some money. They'll say, oh, Lord. See, when Jesse's talking about the white man and driving injustice and everything, it just said, now we need some money. Oh, Lord. They showed the film Martin Luther King speaking. People are eating, clattering the thing. Poor news people standing up and said, can you listen? People that's talking. Said, well, who was it? Well, Martin was talking, but I did noise. Of course I'm right. We have power. Yes, you're here this morning, but you are here this morning because you want to do something. But we've got so much to do. We've got to talk to people. You've got to talk to these 20-year-old women with children who are teenagers. And you gotta say to them, look, you gotta move. You gotta put the old mantra, well, that's old school. My foot is old. No, don't give me no old school. You can't just dismiss dogs and water hoses and people who had no education. You can't dismiss it. And I mean what I say. I hear these children walking up and down, and all they can do is curse. And then you hear them in the supermarket, and everybody's making excuses for them. Well, they don't have this and they don't have that. Hey, man, they're just like anybody else. If you want something, you better believe they'll be there. You see these men who are the fathers of these children, and they're standing on the corner, and they're talking, rubbing their Johnsons like some magic lamp. And bragging because they got 2, 3 babies somewhere that the government is sending checks twice a month. If you're the father and you have not seen your child, so you weren't there to give the message of I want you to go farther than I have. You understand? Of course. And it's got to be spoken that way. Too many young people know nothing about that. Now, I know this foundation and the money it costs. I heard the numbers. $36,000, $28,000. Lower economic people don't have it. But I'm telling you right now, there's community college. And we ought to be the champions of graduating from community college. Because as broke as you are, you can walk into community college and say, look here, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't have anything. They say, come on in. I got $1,740 for you. You're going to have a full load. And you graduate with a 3.8 while you're working someplace at Garrett's making popcorn. You graduate from community college and you go see the counselor, a human being, not a recording, not somebody who's steering you away from where you want to go. Because the state, I guarantee you, has said there's a $5,000 scholarship money waiting for you. If you're over 3.0, come on and earn it. But you need parents to say, this is where you want to go. You don't have to be at Northwestern.